There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Plexus Opportunity event online tonight. My name is Julie Henson, and I'm a Senior Gold Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and I'm so excited that y'all have joined us tonight. This is such an exciting event. We have 10 amazing ladies who are going to share their successful Plexus journeys with us tonight. So before I turn it over to my co-host and dear friend, Emerald Ambassador Natalie Fowler, I'm going to read our company disclosures for you. So let me get those on the screen. The opportunity of a lifetime is brought to you by the independent Plexus Ambassadors and is not sponsored by Plexus Worldwide. At Plexus Worldwide, we want you to know that the results you are about to hear may vary from person to person. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The earnings of these ambassadors are not necessarily representative of the income, if any, that an ambassador can or will earn through the Plexus compensation plan. The success of an ambassador depends on his or her skill set, work effort, and desire to succeed. For more information on the Plexus compensation plan, please visit plexusworldwide.com/opportunity. Okay, now I'm going to pass it over to my friend Natalie Fowler.
Hey everybody, I am so excited. Since I started with Plexus 3 years ago, I'm from Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, and I live in Florida in the winter. I have been in awe of these young millennials who have come into Plexus and blown their business right out of the water. I've constantly been I've chatted with a number of the young ambassadors and young highly successful millennials to say, what is it that you guys are doing? And it's what kind of inspired me to want to have them, some of them, share their story tonight, because it's been amazing to me that these young people, I'm in my 50s, I'll admit that I'm in my 50s, and I just think back, if I had been given this opportunity 30 years ago, what my life might look like. And so it's a real delight for me to have these wonderful millennials volunteer to be on this call this evening. Now, for all the guests that are listening, if you make it to the very end, I do want to tell you that we're going to give a little secret word. And Julie's going to give the secret word at the end. I just want to inspire you to stay on to the very end. Julie's going to give a secret word, and she's going to provide an email address for you to send that secret word in, and we're going to do a draw for all of you guests on here tonight for $50. So a $50 gift card. So I want you to take notes. I want you to be really listening hard and listening to their heart and listening to their story, because this could be you guys. And so the very first speaker I'd like to introduce is Stephanie. Stephanie is 27 years old. She's from Alaska, and she has an incredible story, so get ready.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Abrams. I am, again, 27 years old. I'm an Emerald Ambassador in Plexus, and I live in Alaska. Before Plexus, just kind of want to paint a little story. I was 8 months postpartum. I was teaching about 30 children, piano teacher. I've done that for years. And so that was my income. I loved it. And then I had my daughter. And I was at the time thinking, okay, I don't want to continue doing this, but what can I do from home? And also at the same time, my friend, again, had told me about Plexus, and I was like, okay, that's nice. But I was not interested. I come from a very holistic, crunchy background. herbs tinctures. We're not talking the nice little packaged cleanses at the stores. We're talking you do everything yourself and process it. And so all this hard, long, drawn out stuff, and then hearing about this little pink drink and a couple capsules and seeing all these testimonies, and we were very, very skeptical. And I think I can say that for everyone on the call tonight, that just keep that in mind. We all started out as skeptics. We all thought, okay, maybe this will work, maybe not. If not, I can cash in on my 60-day guarantee. But we took the chance. And I did the research. I looked at the ingredients. That's what I wanted to see, because I want to see how they work in the body. And looking at those, doing research, asking other health professionals that we know that are in the medical field, and I decided to give it a try. And I saw the good, the bad, and the ugly, looked online, took a chance, did it, and I'm so thankful that I did. It has been, my husband and I talk about it all the time, but it has been the best financial decision that we've ever made. It's been the best health decision. So many things that we've benefited from, better sleep. I was nursing at the time, so I'm still waking up through the night with the baby. And, I was 8 months along. My milk increased. I had a lot of other benefits. I had better energy, better sleep, and just so many other things also for other family members, that when you start sharing with people and you see how it helps them, it's exciting. And if you don't share, what blessing are you withholding from someone? Again, when I started, I was 25, and 2 years later, now I'm an Emerald Ambassador. So if I could say anything, I would just say, when you start, go all in. That time is going to pass. We're all going to continue to get older, and life is going to keep on going by. So commit, and it makes a difference. I mean, this, like I said, this has been the best opportunity we've ever done. I love the products, the compensation plan. The products are simple. They're completely plant-based, natural, and they help your body do what it needs to do. And I love it. I did not start out with a huge Facebook audience. I did not know a ton of people. Homeschooled, didn't go to college. And when I started, I think I had like 180 Facebook friends. So just saying, you don't have to have a huge sphere of influence and know all of these people. We all start out thinking, yeah, we don't have anything like, those people that make it big. But it's possible. It really is. And I just encourage you to really look at this opportunity and do it, because it could change your life. And in the process, it changes so many other people's lives at the same time. So if I could pass it along to Chloe now, and you get to hear her story. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Chloe Kasich. I'm 20 years old and a soon-to-be Diamond Ambassador. I'm actually silver right now, super, super close to gold. And I'll just share a little bit of my story. So in May of 2014, my mom brought home Plexus products, and she was so excited about them. And I was the biggest skeptic ever. I wanted nothing to do with them. I didn't want to hear with them. I told her she wasn't even allowed to keep them in her pantry, because my mom had tried so many other health products or health lines that were supposed to help you get healthy, and really they did not help her get healthy at all. So I was totally against it, and she started on the products, and I immediately noticed a change in her overall demeanor. She had so much energy, she was so happy, and I literally asked her, what is wrong with you? And she said, oh, it's Plexus. And I was like, there's no way. So after a lot of convincing, she finally got me to try the products, and I had a lot of different health issues, but my biggest thing was I never had any energy. And as an 18-year-old, I should not feel like I'm 9 years old. I lived for naps, I lived for coffee, and I lived for Red Bull. I used to hoard Red Bull in my closet so my mother would not find out, because I relied on it that much. I had such a crazy schedule with being a competitive cheerleader, going to school full-time. I was also a high school cheerleader, and I also had a part-time job, so there was no time in my schedule ever. So I was always exhausted. She forced me to try the products, and I absolutely fell in love. So I told her, I said, well, if I'm going to take these products, I want to sell these products too, because I want to make some money. I saw that she was making some money, and she wasn't quite sure about the compensation plan or how any of it worked. So she said, okay, well, I don't want to pay to get you signed up, so you can just work my business with me. So I was like, okay, sure, whatever. I didn't know anything about it, so I was totally fine with that. I basically worked her business for her and with her. We qualified for Leaders Retreat as like a half and half effort, and we worked so hard to get there. We qualified in the last like minute, literally. And we got there, we got our name badges, and her said ambassador and mine said guest. And I realized, this is not going to work anymore. I'm not a guest, I'm an ambassador. So right after Leaders Retreat, I went home and I signed up. It was like 2 or 3 days before the end of the month. And in those 2 or 3 days, I was gung-ho. I was so inspired and so ready. I knew I wanted to help people. So I worked really hard for that end of the month, and I got 12 new customers in two or 3 days. I got on the leaders list, and I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I did not want to have any other job. So I started building my team, and fun fact, my team is like 90% college kids. So I do have quite a bit of people on my team. Like I said, I'm almost gold, hopefully really soon. But my team is mostly college kids, and we have so much fun getting to lock arms and help other people. I walk around my campus, I see everyone holding Starbucks or Monsters or, all the crazy, horrible stuff that we think is okay for us and that we practically live off of, because I used to be there also. And I just share with them Plexus, and it's really interesting because people always ask me, how do I get college kids on my team? And I just tell them, I see all these posts about how no one wants to have to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, no one wants to go in for shifts, and to have to balance jobs and school and a social life, it's not easy. I could not even imagine it. I tried having a normal job over the summer because I was kind of just bored of not having something to do every single day, and I realized I never wanted to have an actual boss again. I was perfectly content being my own boss, and I was going to just spend more time doing Plexus things other than getting a normal job. So although I'm silver, I do make a really nice income, and it just goes to show you that you don't have to be the highest rank to make amazing money. Obviously, all these ladies that are in this video call are all amazing, and they do so well with this business. And although I'm not at their level yet, and I still am silver, I do make an amazing income, and people on my team make an amazing income also. So I just love that in our company, you don't have to be that super high rank to make good money. Also, I just want to end with, if I can do this, absolutely anybody can do this. It costs $34.95 to literally change your life and so many others' lives. And thank you so much for asking me to be on this call. I feel so honored to be on it with all these amazing ladies. And now I'm going to pass it on to Anna.
Hello, like she said, my name is Hannah. I am 26 years old. I stay home with my babies, thankful for Plexus. I actually started out as a customer. Actually wasn't really sure about it at the time. My husband is a fireman, so he's not home a lot. I usually do a lot with the kids and everything. He would go work 24-hour shifts. And then go to another job at my dad's shop from there, and wouldn't get home until almost supper time, then go to sleep, and then do it all over again. And I just knew that we needed to do something so that we could have my husband back, and he could spend time with my 1-year-old at the time. I just had my son at the time. I started on the products. I signed up as an ambassador in December of 2012. I figured, I don't know, my mom might buy from me, maybe a couple of my friends might buy from me, and it'll be enough to pay for my products. Right, that's what we all say. And I think in my first month, I ended up making enough to cover half of my welcome pack, and I only had 2 days in the month. I signed up at the end of December. My very first month, my check could have paid our mortgage. It was the most, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to do this. It was the most amazing thing I've ever done. My husband was not too sure about it when we first started. He was like, I don't know, Hannah. He just seems kind of too good to be true. He's like, but you do whatever you want to do, because I was one of those ones that I was trying to sell this, and I was trying to make this and trying to sell this just to make a little extra money, still doing hair on the side. I used to do hair. And he was like, whatever. So that first big check, he was like, yeah, you can keep doing this. I continued to lose the baby weight. That's what I was trying to do. I ended up losing 28 pounds and went from a size 12 to a size 4. I was making rank by rank. I made rank every month. The day I lost my last pound, the next day I found out I was pregnant again. It's usually how it happens. I found out we were having a beautiful baby girl. I continued to take the products with my doctor's approval, and I will tell you it was a world of difference. I felt better. I had a 1-year-old that I was running after. I wasn't in the bed all day like I was with him. It was amazing. I continued to go through the ranks through the summer as I was pregnant. I made Senior Ruby in August. I think I made a rank every month up until Senior Ruby. I had my daughter in January of 2014, and I was having some complications with breastfeeding and her gaining weight and stuff, and so I actually put my business on hold for a little bit. I was actually really, really close to Emerald. And I think that's the one thing that I've regretted, that I didn't ask for help. And that's one of the things a tip that I would give to those ambassadors would talk to right now, is to push through and ask for help from your team, because that's what they're there for. People think that they have to do this whole thing by themselves when you have a whole support team to do it with you. Build your own team to lift you up in those down times. Another year later, in 2015, is when I made Emerald. It's just been a blessing, because my whole why was to stay home comfortably with my kids and have my husband home more with us. He will always be a fireman. He may not work as much now. He does still work for my dad, just because it's my dad, and he feels like he wants to help him still, and which is great, gives him something to get out of the house and go do when my dad needs him, but he doesn't have to be there every day. And I was actually in tears the other day as I watched my son and him play at the park, and it was the middle of the week, a day that he would have been at work, and it really touched my heart to be able to see him enjoy our kids the way I have been able to enjoy them and be home with them. So that has been my why, and God has truly blessed us for sure with Plexus. So with that being said, I am going to pass this on to my sweet friend Tara, and she'll take it from there.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tara Castaneda, and I am a Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus. I'm hoping for Diamond this month. We'll see how that turns out, I'm hoping. But this is right around my 2-year anniversary. So a lot has happened in 2 years, but I kind of wanted to share a little bit about who I was before Plexus. And I'm sure I can relate to some of you guys watching, but before Plexus, I was raised and with the mindset of, okay, if I want to have freedom, I need to be, in a high-level corporate job. I thought, if I wanted to get paid well and be kind of in control of my life, I needed to be kind of a boss of a boss, right? And so I kind of just had this one-track mindset. I graduated high school when I was 17. I went straight to grad school. 4 years later, I went to undergrad. 4 years later, I went to grad school, and I graduated with a master's in business at age 23. And I jumped right into to work. And what was funny is I was told that if you have that kind of a degree, your first year out of school, you're going to be making $50,000 or $75,000. That was not the case for me. When I graduated, I got a job that started out at right at $30,000, and I could not afford my student loans. I was living paycheck to paycheck. My husband was working very long hours. I was working 60 hours. We never saw each other. We were exhausted all of the time, and I kept thinking, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I thought this would be. And so I fast forward, I kind of promoted my way up, and I kind of was running that rat race up the corporate ladder, and I found myself just exhausted, and I was tired of working for somebody else. And fast forward, I got pregnant. It was a surprise with my first daughter, and whenever I had her, I decided to stay home for at least 12 months after I had her, and then I'd have to go back to work. Well, 3 months postpartum, Plexus kind of came across my lap, and I wanted to know about the company and the ingredients. I researched it, and I jumped right in. And I really had no interest in the business. I didn't quite understand network marketing. I didn't think it was something for me, but it kind of fell into my lap. And I started telling my friends about how it was making me feel better, and it just kind of caught fire. And I started kind of blogging my experience with Plexus on social media, and I had no idea really what I was getting myself into. But my friends left and right were just saying, Tara, what is this? What are you talking about? The energy? What? Great sleep? What is this? And I realized how many people needed Plexus. And so the business happened to me, and I'm so thankful for that. And it's just kind of grown since then. My husband at first was very skeptical about me doing the business, but he thought, hey, do what you want. And then when he started seeing my paychecks come in, he was like, now what is this Plexus thing that we're doing? And so he started getting more and more interested. And he is now an Emerald Ambassador. And for his 31st birthday last October, we actually were able to retire, not just me stayed home, but we retired my husband as well. So we're now a work-at-home family. And like Hannah was just mentioning, getting to see us hang out as a family and not really know what day of the week it is really quite fun. We just got back from a vacation visiting my family up in East Texas, and we were driving home and we go, what day is it today? Is it Sunday? No, it's Tuesday. It's not Sunday. It's Tuesday. So that freedom is just amazing. As far as the financial piece goes, more in a month than we did in a year when we were working together. And so the trajectory that this has set my family on is not only benefiting my kids, but it has the potential to benefit my kids' kids. And seeing that ripple effect happen not just with my family, but my friends and their friends, it's absolutely phenomenal. And being a millennial, we're always online, right? We're very connected, and I built my whole business through Facebook. I'll say almost 100% of my business is through Facebook, and I didn't have a whole bunch of friends, but I just shared, and I shared what I loved about it, and I love triplex combo, if you know what I'm talking about. I love it. That's my favorite. I actually was approved by 3 OBs, my general doctor and my daughter's pediatrician, to continue that when I got pregnant with my second baby. So I was doing the toddler thing while pregnant, building a business, and then my husband came in and built a business. So if anybody can do it, you can, I promise. But it's been the most fantastic thing that's ever happened to my family, and I cannot believe, I look back and I cannot believe I ever questioned or had that skeptical thought about this. I'm so thankful that I went with my gut and I just tried. If I can give you one tip to be successful, it's really just believing in yourself and knowing that what you're doing is benefiting others. And if you have that belief, the sky is the limit. So I really encourage you, if you're thinking about this, if you're deciding, should I not, why not? Why not? This really could change everything for you and for your family. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of this call. I want to pass it on to Mary Beth Miller.
Hi everyone, my name's Mary Beth, thank you. I'm here with my two of my best girlfriends, Brittany and Melissa. Just a little bit about my Plexus story. Plexus kind of has started with me fairly recently. I'm a silver ambassador. It started with me knowing Natalie outside of this. Natalie's been mentioning to me for a long time about Plexus and how I should look into it, how it's such a great opportunity for people my age. There's really no better way to start, and if I could just do this with a couple of my friends, how amazing of an opportunity it would be. I hate to say it, but for the longest time it really just went in one ear and out the other. I didn't even give it any consideration like I should have. Sorry to say that, Natalie, but for the longest time I just didn't see it as the opportunity it really is. It wasn't really until Natalie was able to take me along on her trip to Maui for the Jewel trip. When I went there, I saw so many people my age, younger, a couple years older, that were there, able to bring their friends and their boyfriends to Hawaii on this trip. And I was just kind of sitting here thinking, like, how can these people afford to do this when I'm just sitting at home working my minimum wage job with my student debt, just kind of barely getting by. So after that, once I saw that, I kind of came home and got things into gear and kickstarted everything. I got myself signed up with Plexus, and I started posting a little bit, getting the word out there that this is what I was doing. It was when I had my first kind of real launch party event that things looked up for me. I invited a few friends, and I had a few people come that I thought were just really coming to be supportive friends, come and listen to me, hear what I had to say. It didn't take long. I think it was after that first meeting, most of the people that attended jumped right on board, and I got quite a few of my friends on board then. Since then, Mel here was one of the first people that started, and it's just been so fun being able to work with your best friends. We've really grown closer since then, and it doesn't feel like you're working a job when you get to do it with your best friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so happy to be a part of Plexus, and I definitely think one of the first things that really got me thinking about this is Mary Beth actually, being a millennial, we always have group chats going all the time, and she sent me a photograph of Celeste Gwen, who I had no idea who that was at the time, with all of her sorority sisters, and Mary Beth just kind of said something along like, P.S. this could be us, and I just thought about that. I'm like, yeah, why can't we all do that together? Why can't we all just like build a lifestyle business and have the freedom of that? And so getting to do this with your best girlfriends has just been such a blessing to share this amazing life-changing product with all of them. And it's just, we have so much motivation that we get from each other. So it's just this different kind of, with being friends already, we kind of get each other, we kind of get the things we need, and so working as like best friends as a team, like that extra motivation has just been so amazing. And at first I was kind of nervous, a little skeptical, like who am I going to share this with? But honestly, just sharing with your friends has just been the best thing that we all could have ever done. So it's just been so amazing.
We were able just a few weeks ago to do a trip to Toronto, and now as a group of friends we're even planning our trip to Vegas for convention.
So excited!
So for me, Plexus fell in my lap at the complete right time. I started my health and fitness journey about a year ago, and I hit a wall. I hit a plateau. I wasn't going anywhere. I needed a change. So when I seen that Mary Beth and Mel were posting on Facebook about Plexus, I was like, what is this thing? I need to join. I need to find out what it is. So I talked to them, got the deets. I joined the business right away. Love what the products do for me. It makes me feel great, and we've all been friends since high school and drifted apart after high school, and now we're able to get back together after high school and catch up and relate on things and talk about Plexus and hang out like every week now. It's great.
I guess if we could say one thing to people going forwards is that you don't have to do it alone. If you can get a couple of your friends to do it with you, it's so amazing to be able to really lean on each other that way, and don't feel like it's a burden to have to ask your friends. You're probably giving them an opportunity that neither of you realized was there.
Yeah, so I think we'll pass it off to Abby Jo now.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on here. Like I said, I'm Abby Jo Hildebrand. I am a 22-year-old Emerald Ambassador. When I started the business, I was 20, so I've been in, well, I just turned 20, so I've been in it for about 2.5 years now. And life before, oh, I'm from Oklahoma, by the way. Life before Plexus was like your typical college student. I was in X-ray school. I was busy all the time. I had horrible sugar addiction. I didn't know that was a problem. I thought I was pretty healthy. I had migraines 3 to 5 days out of the week. I was pretty grumpy most of the time, but again, I thought that was normal for someone that was in college, that was waking up early, going to bed late, studying a lot, that kind of thing. And when my mom, well, I guess I should talk about my financial state too. I was a waitress. I waitressed at a Mexican restaurant for about 2.5 years, and while that was fun and I loved that experience, it wasn't really paying any bills for me. I was living at home. I relied on my parents a lot financially. They helped me with, well, with all the bills. Like I said, I lived with them, and I was sick without knowing that I was sick. I thought that I was super healthy. So when my mom started Plexus, like Chloe, I kind of rolled my eyes like, yeah, not another thing. But I started noticing changes in her as well, and she started dropping a lot of weight, and I thought, yeah, that's great for you. I don't need to lose weight. You know, I'm healthy, whatever. So they finally talked me into starting the products, and I instantly fell in love with them. And pretty soon after that, my sugar cravings were gone completely. I craved spinach for the first time in my entire life, and that was very strange for me. And I decided to go ahead and start with the business. And that's been the most
important decision that I've ever made. I started in August of 2013. I had just turned 20, and I haven't looked back since. I had one more year of x-ray school whenever I started, so by the time that next May of 2014, when I graduated, I was a senior gold ambassador, so I worked it a little while I was in college. The biggest thing, let's see, I wanted to talk a little bit about one of the products, and probably one of my favorite products is the X Factor. I started with the Triplex when I first started the products, and then it gave me so much more energy. And a few months later, I started the X Factor, and I remember thinking it wasn't really doing that much for me, but I felt good about it because I was taking a multivitamin, and then I ran out, and I thought, no big deal. It wasn't really doing that much for me anyway, and the whole next week I was so tired, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and finally, about a week into it, it hit me that I wasn't taking my X Factor. So, needless to say, I haven't ran out of my X Factor or any other my Plexus products since then. The financial benefits of Plexus have been absolutely amazing. I'm an Emerald Ambassador now, and I have been able to move out of my parents' house. I moved to Colorado, moved back to Oklahoma, and I bought myself a Mustang. Her name is Gretchen, and I still have my Corolla. Her name is Caroline. They're my babies, and my fiance and I got engaged in December, and my fiance and I were able to buy a house, and everything is being paid completely with Plexus. He works for the railroad, and he makes really good money, and I make probably double of what he makes working for the railroad. So it's just such an amazing opportunity. One of the things that I wish that I would have known before, or I wish that my belief would have been there. I wish that I would have believed when I first started that I could do it. I could actually make it to Emerald. I could earn the trip to Hawaii. I could do all those things. And I wish that I would have started sooner. I think almost all of us can agree that we were skeptical at first, but we wish that we would have started a little sooner. And if I would have had the belief then that I have now, I would have hit Emerald probably a year sooner. So that is my story. Thank you so much for having me on, and now I want to introduce one of my good friends, Jordan. She's a senior Ruby from Edmond, Oklahoma.
Awesome. Hey guys, thank you for having me on here. I'm so excited. So, like you said, my name is Jordan Reynolds. I'm a senior Ruby ambassador, and I'm 21 years old, and I'm from Edmond. My journey really started whenever I was 19 years old. I was a freshman in college, and I was really looking for something to help me lose weight. I gained the senior 15 in high school, and despite being really athletic and teaching Zumba classes on the side and being a cheerleader and playing softball games all the time, my diet was horrible. And so you really can't outwork a bad diet, and I'm definitely the example of that. But also prior to my senior year of high school, I dealt with a bad eating disorder for a long time, which was anorexia, and then it switched over to binge eating my senior year of high school. So my relationship with food and my relationship with my body image and confidence has never been great. And so when Plexus came into my life, I didn't know the huge impact it was going to have on me, really. But I was in college, and I was seeing my friend Susie McCall posting about this stuff called Plexus on Facebook. And so I've known her and Chris since I was 8. And I thought, okay, she's all about health and fitness. I might as well try it. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. It's just another thing that I can put on a list of stuff I've tried. But on day 2 of the trial pack I got from her, I knew it was different. And so I just joined for the discount. I wanted my products cheap since I was in college, and Zumba instructors do not make a lot of money. So I definitely needed the wholesale price. But I was not going to tell anybody about it. But 2 months into it, I lost 15 pounds. I gained energy I didn't have. I quit having to take naps in my car between classes. I seriously had a pillow and a blanket in my car because it was an everyday thing. I quit getting sick. I had strep throat 4 to 6 times the year I started Plexus, and since I've been on the products, I've only had it twice in 2 years, and that was huge for me. I can finally sleep again. I couldn't sleep for a really long time, and now I sleep through the night, and it's amazing. And I can finally teach my Zumba classes and work out, and I really don't feel pain from some injuries that I've gotten from just running and being active, and I can teach them the way I want to with energy. So once I experienced all this stuff, I had to just tell people, because I've tried so many different products. I've tried so many different fad diets. Yo-yo dieting was my life for a really long time, that I found something that worked for me. So I had to just tell everybody about it because it was so amazing and I felt so good. And so I just started posting on Facebook. I really work a lot of my business on Facebook. And just in the past 2 years of working this business and helping people get healthy, I have almost 700 people on my team, all over the country and in Canada. I don't even know how we got in Canada, but it is just amazing. You never know who people know. It's crazy. And I'm a senior Ruby ambassador now. My next step is Emerald, where you get the Plexus Lexus, and you get to go to Hawaii, which is so awesome. And when you really reach that rank, you have helped so many people, and that's what it's about. I'm so passionate about health and wellness and fitness, honestly, and this fits right in with that. And I've just gotten to see so many people's lives change from it, and it's amazing. And really going into college, my dream since I was 16 years old has always been to open a gym. But when I came into college, I didn't think that was ever going to happen. I thought it was always going to be a dream. And so when I really came into it, I knew I loved to help people, but I also knew that fitness instructors do not make any money. So I knew I was going to have to do something. I actually was pre-med my first couple months into college, but then I just remember God saying, I'm going to provide a way. You need to do what you love. And so I switched over to fitness, and he definitely did. And I believe that he put this into my life because I have never felt better. I have amazing confidence now. I'm getting to help so many different people. I have an amazing relationship with food, and I don't deal with eating disorder issues anymore. And if you would have told me that back whenever I had it, I would have not believed you ever, because if you've ever had that or you know someone that has it, it's really something that you feel like you're going to struggle with your whole life. And just Plexus is giving me so much freedom from that, and I'm just so thankful for it. What I would tell you guys, if you're watching this and you're not an ambassador yet, you guys need to do this. Jump on it. It's $34.95. That's just as much as going out on a Friday night, and it will change your life, I promise. If you let it and you run with this, it will change your life. We have the most amazing compensation plan. We have amazing products that aren't just for weight loss, they're for health, and you can help so many people. And we have so many ladies on here that are 20 years old up to almost 30. So anybody, anywhere in life can do this. So I encourage you guys to make that jump and don't wait anymore, because you guys can totally do this. And so I'm going to pass it on to Allison.
Okay, guys. Hey, I'm Allison Bro. I'm a Diamond Ambassador, and I started Plexus at the very young age of 24 years old. I'll give you a little pre-Plexus history, so my story kind of makes more sense. But I had a son at the age of 20. I was in a pretty horrible relationship, which led me to being in a pretty horrible financial situation. At a young age, as a single mom, I discovered credit cards, which is the worst thing I ever discovered in my life, but it's what helped me and my son to get by. So I maxed out credit card, and then I would go and I'd search for another credit card online, and I would max that one out, and I wasn't buying shoes. I was buying things that helped me get by, because when you're a single mom and you're young and you're in the situation I was in, you do what you have to do. I also worked 2 jobs, and then one day I saw a post on Facebook, and it was talking about Plexus. They actually called it the pink drink, and they said they were taking this person said they were taking Plexus, they wanted to lose weight, and I kind of just watched it and then kept on going. I had tried different stuff before, diet pills that were horrible for me, so this kind of, I was just like, whatever, and kept going. But then about 2 weeks later, I saw them post that they had lost 10 pounds. And so I said, you know, I need to lose my baby weight. That's what I called it, even though my kid was like 4 or maybe 3. At that time, it was still baby weight to me, because that made me feel better. And so I said, I really need to lose this baby weight. I had a little bit extra money, because it was tax time. And so I said, I'm going to buy me some. I bought me a supply. I felt really good. just having, sitting at my parents' house, we were having a normal conversation, and I talked to my parents about a lot of stuff, and I just happened to mention to them, I'm taking this stuff called Plexus, I really like it, just normal conversation. And my dad looks at me and he says, Allison, why don't you go ahead, why don't you sell that stuff? And my first response was, no, like, I don't know, I can't sell stuff. And so he said, yeah, seriously, I know somebody, a guy I work with, his wife is doing it. She's doing really good with it financially. I know you could really use the money. Why don't you go ahead and try it? I was not, at that time, there was no way that I believed in myself enough, or I had the financials, I didn't think I did, at that time to take this risk as a single mom. That was my thoughts. I was skeptical. There was no way I could take this risk as a single mom. I had to keep my money, the little money I had in my account. And my dad says to me, Allison, I'll pay for you to sign up. I'll pay. You pay me back. You just go ahead and do it. So I did it. I still, at that time, had no clue what I was getting myself into. I thought selfishly at that time, well, okay, if I do it, then I could sell to a couple of my friends. They'll pay for my product, and I could keep using the stuff. So it's a win-win situation. I quickly realized, just by sharing about the products on Facebook and sharing just my personal results how I was feeling on Facebook, that people were out there looking for what I had to offer. So just by posting on Facebook, I started getting interest. And I did that because I had never been in network marketing. I didn't have any sales experience. So posting from behind the computer on Facebook and telling people about my journey was the easy way and the only thing I really knew how to do. So, whenever I got my first check, and we can't really say amounts, but it wasn't huge. It wouldn't be huge to somebody else, but to me, it was enough to cover my water bill. And so when you can cover a bill, it's a big deal to somebody like me in that situation. And then it went on to, I was able to cover my electricity bill. And I think it finally just clicked in my head one day, like, what is even really going on? Like, I'm telling people about this stuff that I love, which I do that anyways. If I go to a good restaurant, or I go get a good massage, or I go anywhere, and I tell people about it anyway. The only difference is I don't get paid for that. For this, I was actually seeing a check. So quickly, my team started building, and I remember sitting down at 10 months into my business. At 10 months into my business, I reached a level of emerald. And I remember sitting down, and I had a mobile home at that time, guys, because that's what my parents helped me to get, And I am not at all embarrassed about my past, because that is what got me to where I am today. My past and everything I went through is what makes me even more appreciate where I am today. So I remember sitting down, and I got my first emerald check. And I don't think that I even slept that night, because it was just crazy. And y'all are going to see the income disclosure later. But for a single mom to make that kind of money, I didn't even think it was possible, So at that point, I ended up having a fiance. I started dating a guy over this time. He proposed to me. I always joke around and say he proposed to me right before I turned emerald. He was a very smart guy. I always joke around and say that. And so we got engaged, and he says, Allison, why don't you quit your job? You're making 5 times the money you were making at that job. Quit. And again, as somebody who has worked so hard, that's a scary move. So it took me a little while, but at 1 year into my Plexus business, I quit my job. And it was the best decision ever. To this day, it was the best decision ever. And so I've been staying home now. And then about 6 months later, I told my husband, Roland, my fiance at the time, I said, okay, it's your turn. Why don't you quit your job? And he didn't even go to work the next day. He had no, right away, he was like, okay, I'm not arguing, I'm quitting my job, and so he did. And so we've both been home ever since then, and we've been in Plexus. This April will make 5 years for me. It's my 5-year anniversary with Plexus. And so we have both been home for over 3 years. We get to stay home together. I have a son. I get to work at his school. I get to volunteer. I get to have lunch with him. We have a 2-year-old, and we have both been home since she was born, so we've never missed a day of her life. And I just think it's so awesome that we both get to stay home with her. We both get to experience every milestone. We've been able to buy a new home. We have a lot of things, and I'll call them, things because that's what they are. They make life fun. They make, but the most important and the coolest thing that I love about Plexus is I'm able to do stuff like today. I'll tell you, I was able to go to the store and I was able to buy my son shin guards and buy my son soccer stuff and buy all this stuff and not even think about it. Not even, we're going on a vacation, I was able to buy clothes and not even think about it. So to this day, I appreciate, the money, it blows my mind. Still to this, almost 5 years in, it absolutely blows my mind, the income potential that you could have in this business. But just the little things that I'm able to do for my family that I would never be able to do for Plexus, like bring them to the movies, go to the water park, all of those small things, those are pretty huge to me too. Those are so important. And this sounds crazy to people, but I tell people I actually enjoy paying my bills now. And people are like, what? But when you can't pay your bills and then you could pay them without worry, it's a pretty big deal. So my life is completely changed because of Plexus. My husband's also an Emerald ambassador, so he also brings in a pretty good income with Plexus. My income is a diamond, at a diamond level. So I'll tell y'all, Natalie wanted me to just share a few things. I started at 24, okay, and I'm 29 now, so I literally feel like I've gotten so much out of Plexus besides the income. The friendships, I've grown so much as a person. When I started Plexus, I was a person that had no influence. I had no confidence in myself at all. My confidence was stripped from me from situations that I was in. I didn't have, the influence. I didn't have a lot of girlfriends because my friends were my sisters. I grew up with all guys. So if somebody was looking from the outside and they looked at me, I probably would not have been on their dream team list of ambassadors. I didn't have, any income. I wouldn't have been at the top of their list like, I know she's going to be awesome at this. I want her to join. So I didn't have a lot of things in my favor, but what I did have in my favor is that I was ready for a change. I was tired of being in the situation that I was in, and I was desperately ready, and I desperately needed a change in my life, and I wanted it. So I could tell you that today I have compressed a 40-year income into 4 years. So if that job I was at, if I would have stayed there working, it would have taken me 40 years to make the amount that I've made with Plexus in just 4 years. My team is generating over $280 million in annual sales for the year. I have probably 40,000 people on my team, tons of diamonds, sapphires, emeralds. It's just been such a fun. It's just been such a fun and incredible journey. So I just want to say to you that I say this and I truly mean it, that if I can do this and everything I've done with Plexus, then I truly believe that anybody out there that wants a change or needs a change in their life and wants it bad enough, I feel like anybody in the world could do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Natalie so she can close out. And thank y'all so much for having me on. Just do it, guys. What if Plexus could change your life like it did all of ours?
Thank you, guys. I am sitting here and I'm thinking about the fact that Plexus is this one Plexus. We keep hearing about it. I want you guys to know that these guys are all from different teams. They are not on my team except for Mary Beth. I think only Mary Beth, Melissa, and Brittany are on my team, and Julie. These guys are all on different teams, and they all came here to help. I was kind of chuckling, and you may have seen it, when you have a 21 or 22-year-old say, if the only thing, I wish one thing I had done is that I saw it earlier. I think, how much earlier could you see it? You got to get out of high school, or you got to be 18 anyway. I think it's so funny to hear young people say, "I wish I had done it earlier." And to hear Hannah's heart, and when I was listening to Tara, and I thought, man, there's no, why Tara went Sapphire. You see that passion and conviction. You guys were just unbelievable, and I don't think there could be For the audience on here, we have over 1,000 people listening to this presentation right now, and these guys knocked it out of the park. I want to thank you guys all so much for this. Julie, if you could just put up the income stats, if you don't mind. I would like to point out, you know, you've heard from silvers, senior ruby, emerald, sapphire, and diamonds. I would love for you, now maybe let me just see if we're getting this. Are you guys getting it up? There we go. I want you to see that, who was it now? I'm trying to remember. I think it was Chloe who said, I'm almost gold. I'm just about at gold. Well, look at gold. That's a $12,000 annual income a year, $1,000 a month for being a gold. That can change people's lives. And you think about Allison, who is a diamond, an emerald, or we have Tara. Tara, I think you said your husband is an emerald. Yes, we can see that, Julie. I think everybody can see it. I think Tara said that her husband was also an emerald and she's a sapphire. So when you look at those income statistics, I just wanted you to really see what was possible if you guys decide that this is the business for you. What I want to do is I want to pass it over to Julie. We said in the very beginning that for all of the guests that are on here, you're going to have the opportunity to have your name in a draw for a $50 gift card. So I'm going to close by saying, please join us. One thing I wanted you to see tonight is we all work together like no other business that I've ever seen. We have everybody supporting each other. These guys did not have to do it. In fact, we had so many offer that we had to only choose a small number of them. And we are going to do another presentation, and it's going to be for the mamas in their 30s because we have a whole bunch of them as well. So we're going to be doing another presentation just like this in the next coming weeks. But I'm going to pass it over to Julie, and Julie is going to give you a secret word in an email, and she'll tell you what you need to do in order to get your name in the draw. Thank you guys so much for attending. Julie?
Hello. Good job, everyone. Oh my goodness, that was just amazing listening to all those stories. And I think we made it through without too many technical difficulties. I'm not sure those stats went up at the end there. I'm going to try one more time to get that to come up, and y'all tell me if you can see it. There, you can see it. Okay. Natalie, did you want to say anything else about it? I don't think we could see it when you were speaking. Nope. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave it up for just a few seconds so y'all can look at that and just take a look at those different levels. And we pretty much have all these levels represented here tonight, and it's just amazing. Okay, let me take that off. Okay, so you've made it to the end of the presentation, and we promised you a secret word so that you can be in a drawing for a $50 gift card. So here it is. If you'll notice, there was kind of an underlying theme tonight. Everybody talked about freedom. They talked about time freedom, freedom from financial trouble. Just everything was about freedom. They talked about getting to spend more time with their kids, their husbands getting to spend more time with their kids. So that is going to be our secret word, is freedom. So if you will email that word to me at plexusmakesmehealthy@yahoo.com. So email the word freedom to plexusmakesmehealthy@yahoo.com. And you need to email that to me within an hour. Okay? So that's the way that you get into the drawing for the $50 gift card, and then we'll get that out to you. So I know Natalie thanked them, but I want to thank all these amazing ladies for coming on here and doing this. I hope all of you out there in internet land have enjoyed this, and we just thank you for giving us your time and listening to us tonight. So does anybody have anything else they want to say before we go? Natalie wants to? Okay, let's see if I can get Natalie on here. Okay, Natalie, just unmute yourself.
Okay, I just wanted to remind everybody that the draw is not for ambassadors. The draw is for people that are listening tonight for the first time, or they're not, at least they're not yet customers. The other thing I also wanted to point out is at the end of this presentation, please get back to the person who invited you to listen to the presentation. With over 1,000 people on here, that's a lot of ambassadors inviting guests. Please make sure that you communicate with your guest or with your ambassador who invited you onto this presentation, and they will help answer any further questions or get you set up if that's something that you would like to do. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, and we want to ask you, if you liked what you heard tonight, we want you to get back with the person like she said, and we also want you to pass this information along. You probably know a lot of people who could use these products and could use this business, and you could be helping change their life too. So be sure and share this with people, pass it along. Tomorrow we'll be putting up a recording, and we'll get that out there on Facebook, and you can share it with all your friends. So help us get the word out, because we want to help as many people as we can. So thank you again for joining us tonight, and go Plexus. Thanks, ladies.